Welcome to CREPN Radio for influential commercial real estate professionals who work with investors, buyers, and sellers of commercial real estate coast to coast. Whether you're an investor, broker, lender, property manager, attorney, or accountant, we're here to learn from the experts.
Welcome to Commercial Real Estate Pro Network's CREPN Radio. We're so glad you could join us. My name is J. Darren Gross. I'm a real estate investor and a commercial property insurance broker. I've been an insurance broker for 25 plus years, and my primary client base is and has been real estate professionals, investors, landlords, property managers, developers, design professionals, and lenders. Based on this, I'm continually looking for more information about real estate investing for both my own investments as well as so that I can better serve my clients. The result of my efforts have led to the creation of Commercial Real Estate Pro Network and CREPN Radio. My goal is to have and share a conversation with experts on topics of interest to commercial real estate professionals and investors. You can find us if you Google Commercial Real Estate Pro Network. We've got a Facebook page, a YouTube channel. We're on LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn, we've got a LinkedIn group. I'm encouraging you, I can't say it strongly enough, to go check out and join our group, Commercial Real Estate Pro Network. There's tons of great information. It's a great resource. There's brokers, there's lenders, there's investors, there's attorneys, there's CPAs. There's just a ton of resource and valuable information, and I cannot encourage you to check it out enough, so go check it out. It's Commercial Real Estate Pro Network on LinkedIn. We also have a Twitter handle. Please check us out there. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and follow us. It's at CRE Pro Network. That's CRE Pro, P-R-O Network, N-E-T-W-O-R-K. And also you can find us on iTunes under the podcast section. If you go and check out or type in Commercial Real Estate Pro Network, you'll find us there. CommercialRealEstateProNetwork.com. We've also got our website and how you can help. If you like, share, comment, and follow any of what we're putting out, we'd love to hear from you. And if you like what we're doing, please let us know. Okay, now that you know a little bit about who we are and what we're trying to do, it's time to set up for today's show. Earlier today, I had the opportunity to have a cup of coffee with a good friend and a friend of the program here, Business Coach Gary Furr. Gary's been a guest on a prior show, and given that we're 2/3 of the year is done, it's already September. We've got 4 months to finish off 2015. I thought it would be a good opportunity to take a minute and speak with Gary about that. If you're not on target, whatever your goal was, what can you do to finish strong? So with that, here's my interview with Gary Furr.
All right, it's Thursday, what is today, 3rd? The 3rd of September 3rd.
September 3rd, yes.
So it's September 3rd, Thursday. It's the first Thursday of the month, and I've got a good friend with me, Gary Furr. He's a business coach, and we're going to do a little kind of a Q&A and revisit goal setting and with respects to if you've had your goal set, fallen off, how do you get back on, etc. So with that, Gary, if we can, let's start with just a little bit of a remind everybody who you are and what you do, and
great.
Can we do that?
Sure.
So Gary Furr.
I'm Gary Furr. I own Gary Furr LLC. It's a business coaching and consulting firm where I work to dramatically improve individual and organizational effectiveness for companies to help them go to the next level and achieve greater success and make more money.
Hey, everybody's got to like that.
Yeah.
And just as a reference point, can you give us a little bit of your background too?
Sure. Well, I come from as operations officer for a $40 million company. I was there for 22 years. We grew it from 16 million to 40 million while I was there. Took the business to the European Union, China and Russia, selling products there, and I have an MBA in organizational development. So I take all of that experience as operations officer and my business management degree and help to business owners to achieve greater success.
Great, great. So, as I mentioned in the beginning there, you and I talked earlier in the year, in January, and I think one of the challenges that I've seen, and I think you've probably seen as well, is that people start off with a plan. It's the first of the year, the New Year's resolution, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna make this year the best. And lo and behold, life starts to happen. And at first, it's maybe just a little bit away from the goal, but now 9 months in, we may have either abandoned the goal or we're so far off. And so with that, I wanted to kind of ask you and get some feedback from you for the listeners, is to, what do you recommend in that case? I mean, do we abandon the plan? Do we say, oh, next year we'll just start over next year? Do we go plan B? Do we refocus? Give me some guidance there on what do you? I'm hoping I'm not unique in this and what I'm seeing.
No, I think it's pretty common. I think at the beginning, a lot of times, individuals and businesses at the beginning of the year, they set these goals or these vision for what they want to achieve in the year, and I think two things happen. One, it's either so far out there that they don't think about getting started right away. I have plenty of time. Or two, it's like so far out there, it's so big, it's overwhelming. So it's like, it's too much. I can't think about it now because they're busy being busy. So come September 1st or 2nd, and they're 2/3 into the year, and they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't accomplished any of my goals that I set that I wanted to achieve. So now it's time to go into plan B. Okay, I haven't done what I thought I was going to do, so what am I going to do about it now? So I think it's basically refocusing. I say, okay, what is it that I wanted to achieve, and that doesn't mean I shouldn't lessen my vision of what I want, but I need to refocus on my goals and reset the priorities, because oftentimes what happens is we don't set the priorities of what we want to achieve, and so then because we don't have any priorities, everything's a priority, and when everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. So we have to say, okay, what are the realistic goals that I can achieve in the next 4 months, and write those down. So make a list of those, and those become the priority that you want to focus on. It's important to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. So that's critically important. And then the next thing is to say, okay, well, let's create a plan on how to achieve that, and that's the goals. So I like to tell my clients to set 90-day goals, break it down at the year into 90-day increments. And so every 90 days, we write a new set of goals for the next 90 days, and those become the priority.
Gotcha. So if in the grand scheme of things, on the first of the year, January 1, we had a plan to do this big goal. We're at 9-1. It reminds me of playing golf. Is kind of where I'm going with this. Is that, like, you had an 8 on the first hole, and now you think, okay, all I got to do is birdie the rest of the hole, so I don't get the score I wanted to.
Yeah.
Is there a plan B? Does that mean let's take a look at, okay, what's achievable with the balance of the year, or does that mean plan B, I got to do so much more to get to my goal? How do you is it recalibration? What do you?
Yeah, I think you have to reevaluate your original goals for the year, and are they still achievable? Is it really possible to achieve that, or were they so grand that you weren't going to achieve them anyway? So it's probably a recalibration of the goals, not to mean that they shouldn't be a stretch. They should be a stretch, but recalibrate and say, okay, in the next 4 months, what do I really want to accomplish? And write those things down. And it's critically important to write those things down. So if you don't write them down, you're just trying to remember all these things you're supposed to do. The very fact of writing them down allows your subconscious mind to go to work to help you to achieve those. I like to tell people to write down your goals for the next 90 days, or in this case, the next 4 months. Let's write them down on a sheet of paper, and then let's read them every day. So every day we know that what we're reinforcing, what we need to do, what our goals are for that remaining year. And then ask the question, what must I accomplish today that's going to move me closer to achieving those goals?
No, that's...
That becomes the priorities for the day. And then the question is pretty easy. When you have a decision to make, does it move me closer to achieving my goal, or does it move me further away? And if it moves me closer, then yes, I need to do that. If it moves me further away, then it's a no-brainer. I shouldn't be doing that.
Right, right. Well, and you bring up that focus, the need for focus, and I think, or I guess what I want to ask you is, focus and its importance is it a singular focus? I mean, when you're saying this is my goal, how important is it to be laser focused? I mean, just to know exactly what you're trying to achieve, and do that. Because I think sometimes that what I see is noise, noise from life, family, work, friends, whatever these things are, the season change, whatever it might be, it's easy to throw one off their focus if you let it.
Right. I think we as individuals underestimate the power of focus. An intense, unapologetic focus will help you to achieve amazing results. And what happens, as you mentioned, the noise or the white noise that's in our life, or clutter, things that distract us from that focus, get in the way of us achieving what we want to achieve. And so we have to really say, okay, what is it that I really want to achieve? And what are the things? And let's make a list of the things that distract me from achieving my goals. And let's say, okay, well, these are some of the things I need to stop doing, or I need to set time aside to be laser focused on what I want to achieve. Because if we don't set time aside, then the white noise or the clutter will come and distract us, and we go, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do. Oh, somebody's calling me. But sometimes it's better if we say, okay, every day I'm going to block off 2 hours, and I'm going to be laser focused on what it is I want to achieve, and what it is I need to accomplish today that moves me closer to achieving my goals and my vision for the future. And turn off the phone. Don't have the text message come. Don't have the email on. Just turn everything off. Eliminate the noise and the clutter that distracts us from really being intensely focused.
Intensely focused. I like that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you kind of a flip to that. You hear about balance. Is there room for balance when you're intently focused on achieving a goal?
That's a good question. That is a really good question. That's why we have to block off time. We have to say, okay, I'm from 8 to 10, I'm going to be intensely focused on achieving my goals for the future. From 10 to 11 or 10 to noon, I'm going to answer phone calls, emails, I'm going to talk to people, I'm going to engage in all the other activities, and then from what lunch happens, then from 1 to whatever time, 2 or 3, I'm going to be back to intensely focusing. But what happens is if you do block off those periods of time, you get so much done in that block of time that you actually end up having more time, because you're not distracted by, oh, I got to do this, oh, I got to do this, because you already did it.
Right.
Now you can say, when you're home with your family, you can be present. Right. You can be 100% present. Right. There, because you don't have these other things distracting you that you have in the back of your mind, that I need to do this, I need to do that, because you've already done it.
Right. It's funny you say that, because I think the converse to that is this constant feeling of like, I've got so much to do.
Yes.
And there's no way I can accomplish it all, and it's just, well, yeah, you're right, because you're just constantly you're trying to do something that either A, is not important, or there's no way to really focus. How am I gonna say this? I know I speak with a voice of experience, or from the standpoint of I struggle with the how do I go from I've got all this stuff to do, and rather than just say, okay, but I'm only going to do this one thing right now for the next 2 hours and knock that off, so that's done, and it can be out of that list of that big ball of goo of things I need to do. And I think that's, everything you're saying is like you're preaching to the choir. I don't know if you see my head nodding.
Yeah, I do. It's funny because I hear people all the time say, I'm so overwhelmed. I got so much to do. And if you're overwhelmed, it's because you have too many priorities. And you haven't decided which priorities are the top priorities. So there again, I go back to, if you have too many priorities and you haven't said, these are the top 4 or 5 priorities I must accomplish today, you will feel overwhelmed, because everything's a priority, and your mind can't sort through that. Our minds aren't like computers where we can switch from this task to this task, from Excel to Word and back and forth. Our minds tend to be singular, so if we can say, okay, I'm going to focus on this and not be trying to switch back and forth, we'll get so much more done.
That's good. Let me ask you, there's a couple things I wanted to touch on here quick. You mentioned the importance of writing goals down and the daily habit of saying them so that again, I think that goes to the focus. What's your, or give me some ideas on accountability, mentor, the importance of that, and the other thing I guess I'll throw in there is the importance of finding those people that are on a path to success and goal, and hanging with those people as opposed to those that are less driven or focused.
Well, in terms of hanging with people that are similar to you, it's really important that we associate with people that are of the same mindset that we are. So my life particularly, I don't like to associate with negative people because I want to be around positive people. I want to be around people who want to learn and grow and who are interested in developing their skill sets and their knowledge. And so just associating with those kind of people, I learn so much from them, and hopefully they're learning from me as well. But they're learning, I'm learning and growing and developing, my skill set at the same time. So oftentimes what happens though with business owners and executives is that we set these goals and we have a vision for the future and we set the goals, but we have no one holding us accountable. And so we're only accountable to ourselves. And sometimes we develop these bad habits and we continue in our bad habits until someone comes along and says, hey, have you done this? Or why aren't you doing that? So I think the importance of having a mentor or a business coach or consultant that can help hold you accountable is critical to your success. The accountability piece is what's often missing when individuals and executives are trying to achieve a certain goal in the future. There's no accountability, so no one's asking them, how you doing? Have you accomplished this? Or what are you going to do this month? And what are you going to do this week? So I think the importance of a mentor or a coach to hold you accountable, especially if you've been struggling, is really critical to your success. And it's, there's very few people that will actually take that step, because it takes courage to say, you know what, I want someone to hold me accountable. I want someone to help me. That takes courage to say, I can't seem to do it myself, so I'm going to have someone else help me, keep me accountable to do it. And that's a huge step, but it's a positive step towards your success.
No, that's kind of that yin and the yang there, where I think people so often they want the freedom, or they convince themselves they don't want anybody watching over them, but at the same time that's kind of what they need somebody to challenge or ask them how are they doing, so at least they feel like, gosh, I could be doing more and I'm not, or whatever that is, but there is that element of there's a huge element of value in accountability.
Absolutely.
Otherwise it's all random and what happens.
No one's checking up on you and see how you're doing. Then it's easy to get into that pattern of not getting it done, and then pretty soon it gets easier and easier just to forget about it because no one's holding you accountable.
So, is kind of a close, kind of just kind of a topic here, or not topic, just kind of a question. So, finishing strong. We've talked about, we're 9 months, we're through 8 months of the year, we got 4 months left. It's likely that if our goals were stretched at the beginning of the year and we haven't been on pace, we're probably not going to get there. Can you speak a little bit to the importance of finishing strong and so that we, don't just let a year go by, but we got today. How do we? What can you say to that?
Well, the important thing is not to give up.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the important thing is to keep going. I think a lot of people who have not achieved the level of success that they wanted to, because they got to the 5-yard line and they quit. They just didn't push it to that end. If they'd just given it one more push, they would have made the touchdown. If they would have just stuck it out a little longer, they would have finished strong in the end of their business. So now, here we have the last 4 months of the year. We have an opportunity to really finish strong. So let's step back from our business and look at it. Let's take that 30,000-foot view and say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is 4 months. This is what I think I can realistically accomplish, and yet it's still a stretch. And write that down. And write it down and then start reading it every day so that you can finish strong. Because what happens is when we have clear direction and then we have a plan because we've set some goals and we intensely focus, and if we're disciplined to stay at it every day and read those every day and remind ourselves every day, we end up getting results. And when we get results, we get motivated. When we get motivated, we want to do it again and again and again. So I think it's really, really important to step back now, reevaluate, write down what we want to achieve, be disciplined to stay at it every day and intensely focus, and we'll get the results that we really want, and we'll finish strong. So
that seems like a good ending point there. Let's finish strong for 2015.
It's a great opportunity.
You still have 4 months. Don't give up if you've fallen off your track. Whether it be you're planning on flipping more homes or finding more deals or finding a property or whatever your plan is. Don't give up. Stay strong and
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Gary.
Well, thanks, Terry.
Thank you. And like always, appreciate it.
It's a great, beautiful sunny day in Oregon. How could we go wrong?
No kidding. We've got it all, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
All right. Thanks. 2016. For more information about Gary, check the show notes on the podcast, and you'll find Gary's contact information, how to get a hold of him. Remember, Commercial Real Estate Pro Network, you can always find us. We're on Facebook. We've got our YouTube channel. We've got the LinkedIn group. I'm going to say it again. If you're on LinkedIn, please join the group, Commercial Real Estate Pro Network. There's a ton of great resource information there that you'll thank me for. Also, please, if you're on Twitter, follow us. We're at CRE Pro Network, and also we've got commercialrealestatepronetwork.com. We'd love to have you like, follow, share, and comment, and just let us know what you're thinking about what we're doing. Until next time, thanks for listening to Commercial Real Estate Pro Network's CREPN Radio.
You're listening to CREPN Radio for influential commercial real estate professionals. For more information on this or any of our guests, like us on Facebook, CREPN Radio.